This is the Weekend Inspirational Notations report for the upcoming Friday evening through Sunday night. We will be consulting tarot messages and rune wisdom to get a glimpse into what we might experience from the vibe of the tribe, what's to be expected, what's to be rejected, the arising and surprising, and finally, the love boat. As always, we will be using Hope's Heart Tarot cards and Odin's runes to look deep into the weekend ahead. Are you ready? Let's shuffle. Let's ask Hope's Heart Tarot what we need to know about the upcoming weekend of November 8th through Sunday, November 10th. Friday through Sunday. Let's just ask, what do we need to know? Tell us about this upcoming weekend. I'm going to shuffle one more time and then cut once. And there's our read. I'll knock once to seal the deal. And we'll ask Odin's runes the same question. Here we're going to consult the ancient Elder Futhark of the Norwegian alphabet. Every letter means something very important, a life lesson. So we're just going to shuffle Odin's runes and ask, what do we need to know? Okay, and I'm going to cut once and knock to seal the deal. So let's ask Hope's Heart Tarot, what is the vibe of the tribe for this upcoming weekend? What do we need to know collectively? How will people be feeling? What can help us help each other and put ourselves in our best possible stance? So Hope's Heart Tarot is a straight up card, and it is the 7 of Cups. We couldn't ask for a nicer card. Wishful thinking. It's about using our imagination and thinking about what we want and what we need. The 7, or assessment, combines with the cups, or things we love or have a passion for. Assessment of passion, of things that we love, is daydreaming and wishful thinking. And here with the card, we see a gentleman, we assume he's a gentleman. We see somebody looking at all the possible things that he could love, all the possible things that he could do. And that is what the vibe of the tribe will be. Daydreamy, optimistic, looking beyond the box, beyond what's in front of us, beyond the conventional, to try to see what can we do, what can we accomplish, what sounds great right now. That's super. And it goes with the rune Taiwas. This became letter T in our alphabet, Taiwas. It is an arrow pointing up. And what it means is we are being a spiritual warrior, right? We're making a sacrifice for a higher cause. But people are using wishful thinking, and they are also employing that towards being a spiritual warrior. It means they're trying to find solutions or options or ideas to help everyone to serve a higher purpose. Sounds like everyone's going to be in a pretty good state. I'll take that. So the next two cards we're going to pull speak to what's to be expected. What can we expect to come up? What will come up? And the Hope's Heart Tarot is no-win situations. Drama and no-win situations. Well, when we're daydreaming and trying to be spiritual warriors, sometimes it'll back us into a corner. We really don't have any options. We just have to, we have to do the best we can with what we have. And what rune goes with that? Well, Odin's rune of manifesting. That is ingaz, or the verb ing, which means farm ing, do ing, work ing, right? And when it's turned, it's manifesting. Manifesting. We are manifesting things even if we're backed into a corner where there's just really no options. But sometimes when we start daydreaming and realizing what we really do want and are willing to commit ourselves to a higher deed, we do find ourselves in a situation where, at one point we were able to make a decision, but now we're out of options. It's this or nothing. We have to make it work. Interesting. What's to be rejected? What is something we're going to reject? Well, Upstart Tarot says impatience. Being impatient is something that has to be rejected. That's true if we're daydreaming and we want to serve a higher cause and manifest from that level. We're going to have to be patient. We're going to have to allow seeds to germinate and to grow, and we're going to have to give it the time and patience that it needs, which leads us to the other thing that we need to reject, and that is difficulties. This is the rune now these, which literally means now this, which stands for difficulties and problems. How can we reject difficulties? Well, either accept that they are just part of the path or find a pathway around them. Sometimes the best way to solve a problem is to eliminate it. What's the arising and surprising? What's going to pop up out of nowhere that we didn't think would happen? Let's look. The coward, the king of coins reversed. The coward actually coming to, the edge of the diving board and then not having the guts to jump. That would be arising and surprising. If we did have bigger daydreams and we wanted to be a spiritual warrior, and we were manifesting, and we were releasing impatience, and we're trying to turn difficulties into opportunities more than challenges, great. What could be arising and surprising is it might just be a little too big or a little too scary, and some people may be frightened. Why? Because the rune Haugan, or hail, H stands for hail. Nordic wisdom tells us that no matter how good of a farmer you are, there will be hail. There will be a destructive force that comes through. So Haugan was turned at the survival angle, where we will feel almost a need of survival, which can bring out a few people being cowardly or frightened or acting badly because they're afraid. But that brings us to the love boat, how we feel about each other and how we take care of each other. And what we get there is the 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords isn't very nice. It's about nightmares and worrying too much. But the card was reversed to represent optimism. True optimism is when we know what we could be afraid of, when we've already thought through it with reason and evidence, and we're not terrorizing ourselves. We're not agonizing and analyzing everything. That is what true optimism is. In other words, we're not afraid of what could happen to us because we know how we're going to handle ourselves. Know thyself. That's very attractive. And where does that put us with Odin's runes? Believe it or not, the card that went with that was Manas. This became the letter M, and it's represented by people joining forces in peace. I guess in this weekend's read, it really doesn't matter what it is if it ends in optimism and peace in the love boat and how we handle each other. That's wonderful. But it does come from a place of wishful thinking and being a spiritual warrior and realizing sometimes we end in a dead end. There's just, we really don't have any options. We just have to go forward in this more enlightened way, which leads us to becoming better manifestors. Of course, we need to reject any sort of impatience, and we cannot be looking at difficulties as difficulties, but just opportunities to rise to a higher cause, which is what this first card, Taiwas, is about, rising to a higher cause. The arising and surprising could be that some people feel frightened. Maybe what we're manifesting is just so big and is so wonderful that it is literally scary. But it's only because survival is sometimes the goal. In any case, we end up optimistic and peaceful, which, if you ask me, is a great way to spend a weekend, or the greatest goal of a weekend. All I know is it's going to be a great weekend, and I hope you really enjoy it, and I look forward to seeing you next Thursday. Coming to you from wild and free Sturgis, South Dakota, this has been author Joan Kristin Haugan. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Feel free to leave comments and share with your friends. To order your own deck of Hope's Heart Tarot cards or Odin's runes, visit prairiemagic.com or just click the links below. It's been an honor to read with you today, and I wish you all the best.